Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of Scarlet Hollow. It's been over a year since I last played this game, episode 3. So, I'm gonna need a recap. And you might need a recap too. But if you don't, if you watched the previous episodes, I'll put a link in the description of where to skip the recap and just get to episode 4. But first, let's get into the recap. Alright, let's see, where were we last? Is that the recent save? So the last time I played this... Hang on. So the last time I played this was March 17th. March 17th of last year. That's when I last played this. Alright, episode 4 awaits. If you'd like to save before continuing, please do so now, which I did. Would you like a recap before starting episode 4? Yes, I'm gonna need episode 1 through 4 recap. Full recap, that's what we want. That's what we want. Alright, let's take this all in. Also, I might have to move my camera. I don't know if it's gonna be in the way here, so might move in the middle of the gameplay, we'll see. Alright, let's do it. The long-lost cousin. The bad news. 26 hours of bus rides, with countless late-night stops in seedy depots that would have felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Pearline Scarlet, your cousin's mother, and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to this current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight, while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Come on, you, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. You heroically dive forward, tucking Gretchen under one arm and grabbing the flashlight with the other. I said aim the damn thing! Quick! Perfect. As it recoils, you plant a foot firmly in the ground and throw your body towards the abomination to your right, your fist firmly connecting with a powerful haymaker. Its body feels wrong, as if your blow had just collided with a bag of loose organs instead of with a living creature. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they are a terrible omen. A sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Make yourself at home. From now on, you're back at the estate by bedtime. No more impromptu sleepovers. Wow, that is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. The diner is where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual. Have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out? Nothing strenuous, we promise. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now. Anyways. I got him. The green screen doesn't pick him up, but yeah, look. Stay home. Wait for the week to end. Don't keep putting yourself in the path of danger. This is all I ask. You're interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill. She didn't. I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago. After a collapse that killed over 100 people. You pull out your phone and dial your cousin. What is it? I'm in a meeting. A kid just snuck into the Shaw mine. I figured you should know. What? Are you serious? Why do things keep happening to me? Also, why do you know about this? What the hell are you doing at my mines? Whatever. I'll head over there as soon as I can. Just stay where you are and wait for me, alright? A man named Charles Shaw decided it was okay to use faulty wood for support struts, and the entire mine came down. A lucky few died instantaneously, but for the most of the souls who perished here, it was slow and agonizing. Your father was a foreman at the continuous mining facility. We'll see if he even has a job tomorrow morning. Sorry about my squeaky chair. My dad says our house is haunted. Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. You turn to see Becca and Alexis gone, and Rosalina anxiously hovering in front of a small tunnel in the cavern wall. She freezes as you notice her. There is something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest, like the deep growl of a predator. What do you think you're doing? Get away from there! Your cousin dives towards you, but not before the light from your phone illuminates the chamber. Goldie! Goldie, are you alright? You and Tabitha manage to squeeze through the entrance just as the walls of the mine come crashing down. Holy shit, you're okay, thank God. And everyone's accounted for. That was a surprisingly close call. We could have all died in there. What did you weirdos do? Everything was fine until you adults showed up. Becca, shut up. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the darkened road. You collapse in Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. When you close your eyes, you see the shadowy figures that gathered behind Stella in the mines. Your thoughts are drawn to the carving on the wall, and to the visions it imparted upon you. There are two of them now. Are you ready to leave? Janie approaches from the... Oh, as you ready to leave, sorry. Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the two of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Oh, Goldie, before you go, I heard about what happened last night. I mean, I heard about it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now. And then I heard it again. I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. You two did right by those kids, though. What a blessing, everyone getting out of that situation all right. Morning. Is the new blend ready? Of course. Goldie, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will just be a minute. Well. Powerful. You've never seen the man beside Duke before, but whoever he is, he's big. If it ain't Goldie. Bo, this is Miss Scarlet's cousin. She was there with Stella that night in the woods. It's a pleasure to meet you, miss. My name is Beau. I'm Duke's boy. Hope you've been faring better since all that unpleasantness. Tabitha stops in front of a small house on the quiet hill just off Main Street. The Scarlets own most of the houses out here. We rent them out to employees. Just more convenient, you know? Your cousin pulls out a heavy set of keys from her pockets. She picks out one marked with a bright strip of green tape and unlocks the door. Come on in. Don't worry, it's empty. Yep, he's a dog. And judging from the series of portraits lining the walls, Tabitha wasn't pulling your leg. Every mayor of Scarlet Hollow in living memory has also been a dog. You can tell the dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're interrupted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Goldie. Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. If you'd ever like to discuss your beliefs, my door is always open. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges while trash and sketches leak out from piles in the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Your mom is so scary. She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourself comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately, haven't been cleaning much. Dinner is already laid out, dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense. His shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. So, we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week, while Goldie is still in town. We'll have to see how you're feeling. I can handle a movie, Doc. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure he'll be okay. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever going to change. I'm sick every day, and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone, just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask permission from my mom just to have friends over. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain, and wrapping himself in his arms. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix. Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves. Hey, you're here sooner than I expected. Hope dinner went okay. Hey, hope I'm not too late. Have I missed any creepy paranormal stuff? Oscar and Kanika startle as the door swings open. Seems I made it just in time. Let's get this show on the road. I don't have all night. Whoa. This is where I've seen it. It appears on top of the stain. Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch, the floor around it stained in reddish brown. I'm going for it. Wait, do you hear music? Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadows rises to attention. Stella? There you are. I would have found you sooner, but the resident clearly doesn't want me here. Ugh. No. It doesn't seem to have the same issue with these miserable little parasites. That startled me. Bottom feeders always manage to slip through the cracks, don't they? The sins of the father are to be laid upon the children. One of you must forfeit. It doesn't matter which. Bullshit. I hope I didn't come too late. It wants something, doesn't it? I think you know which of you should volunteer. You must be joking. Let's just leave. Agreed. Sybil, you got in here. Can you get us out? Sybil sighs. Tabitha, are you sure you want to leave this business unfinished? Absolutely. This is not our problem. If you think it's the best course of action, yes, I can get you out. It's only a question of seeing through the illusion. We're in a basement. Even if all of your sensors are telling you otherwise, try closing your eyes and remembering where you are. I'm so sorry, Goldie. I don't think I can talk right now. I'll call you, okay? She hurries off down the road. Before I go, Sybil places a hand on your arm, holding you back for a moment. I'm sure you have questions after everything you saw tonight, but let's not get into it here. I think everyone should use a little rest and relaxation right now, yourself included. If you swing by the tea rooms sometime tomorrow, say early afternoon, you and I can have a little chat. I'll see you then, Goldie. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly, you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. The spirit of Charles Shaw, Jr. now commands the entirety of City Hall, a swirling void of wrath and despair that the people of this town will have to learn to ignore. Disaster looms its tallest yet over Scarlet Hollow. And that was the recap. Now we're starting. Disaster looms its tallest yet over Scarlet Hollow. Time to wake up. You open your eyes. It's a new day. Last night seemed so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. But you know that the furious spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. yet lingers, locked behind the doors of the town hall, still tied to the earth by its hatred of you and Tabitha. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine, but your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hey, have you heard from Stella? I haven't been able to get a hold of her. Thought she might have at least checked in with you. You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. I feel like we should call Stella. I think if you haven't heard from her either, I'm sure she's fine. God, what if she's in trouble? What if she's hurt or dead? Everyone had a rough night. She's probably still shaken up. I feel like after something like that, I would call. And I'm not one that just calls. I usually text, but this is some serious stuff. So I'm gonna call. You dial Stella. Hey, what's up? Haha, just kidding. I'm not able to come to the phone right now. This is actually a recording of my voice. It isn't really me. Technology, huh? Oh no, we're getting the voicemail. Anyways, leave a message. Or don't. I never check this thing. The mailbox is full and can't accept messages at this time. Alright, we're gonna text. We're gonna try everything we can to contact her. Hey, I'm kind of worried if you ran off last night. Text me as soon as you get a chance. Send Stella a photo of a nervous puppet. I feel like that would be cute. I want to do that. You send a photo of shaking frog biting his nails. It's the Kermit. It's the Kermit meme. You wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. Haven't heard from her either. That's not good. I know we haven't exactly gotten along, but we should meet up in town and look for her together. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. Alright, let's take a shower. Let's take a shower. It's been a long day. You might as well take a shower before starting the rest of your day. That's what I would do. If I had a night like that, I need a shower. I need some time to just think about everything. Oh, even though this bathroom is horrendous. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you think about the door in the clinic. You're still drawn to it, even now. Oh, I forgot about the door in the clinic. That's right. About Oscar and Rosalina, Spectre Jr. Think about the afterlife. Stella running off last night. Hopefully she's just sleeping in. Yeah, I feel like I'm this. I feel like I'm trying to scrub the memories off. There's so many, like, options. Ooh, that's a good one, too. I'd be thinking about all this shit. I'm gonna scrub the memories off. You scrub ferociously, trying as much to scrape the memories from your skin as though they're a part of the physical dirt that coats you. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. I feel like this is the first shower that we've had since we got here. You make your way to the closet. I'm gonna check the closet every time because this doll freaks me out. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. And judging by the residue that was left behind, you're pretty sure you know the culprit. That means he was in your room. But was he there while you were out the previous day, or did he enter while you slept, unawares just a few feet away? Ooh! Chills, chills, green chills. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. Great. Fantastic. As if I need anything else to worry about. It's time to face your cousin. Oh god. You find her in the kitchen, her shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. They're striking. This week of all weeks. As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. Your cousin's posture is unsurprisingly much tenser than usual. It's possible the strike is even worse than she thought it would be. It probably won't be long before she bolts out of here. Talk about the strike. Talk about what happened last night. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. Yeah, I honestly would want to tell her to just get out of here. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. Excuse me. So ghosts are real. I'm glad we left Charlie down there. Do you regret leaving Charlie down there? Not at all. And I don't care if Grandma Eddie killed him. The past is the past, and neither of us had anything to do with it. We can always build a new town hall. We can never get back lost years. let's talk about the strike. How are you feeling about the strike? You can be honest with me. You seem tense about this. Usually I'm pro-union. Nah, I'm not selecting that. I am absolutely pro-union. Even want. You give them what they want, Tabitha. It's the right thing to do. Wow, there's so many dialogue options. Can't believe they call these people. I wouldn't say a strike is mundane. Do you know what the strikers, they're probably wanting pay. I'm sure. Do you know what the strikers, even want? I haven't seen a list of demands. I'm sure it's just the usual. I promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune. Just give them what they want, Tabitha. It's the right thing to do. I don't know what they want yet, but I can assure you that whatever it is, I probably can't give it to them. Not now. I'm barely keeping things afloat right now. It's been that way for a while. I want to be able to give people more time off. I want to be able to give them raises. Just need more time to fix things before I can afford to do that. Okay, let's return and talk about getting out of here. Selling it all. If the mine's in trouble, you should just sell it. Sell the estate. Get out while you still can. Tabitha bristles. I'm not giving up like that. This is the Scarlet mine. I'm not just going to cash out on our family's legacy. I'm bringing the mine back to life, one way or another. I'm just going to remain silent. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. But let me know if you get in trouble, okay? I like how we're starting to become, like, closer to Tabitha. Like, the first episode, I was like, I'm not gonna try to do anything to make her like me. And now it's like, we're starting to get along, you know? It's taken a while. She's a little rough around the edges, but we're coming around to her. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Let's get a PB&J! If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get the chance to eat. You make yourself a PB&J in an anticipation for the long day ahead of you. I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich now. I don't think we have any jelly in the house either. And now we've got peanut butter, but not jelly. And that's that. It's time to head to town. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. I love the sound design in this game so much. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. Glimpses of pale figures dot your periphery. Were they there the whole time? You haven't seen ditchlings in the middle of the day before. They're getting bolder. Ooh, look at them. You see them? To your surprise, you find a familiar face making its way up the path towards you. Hey, I was just coming up to see you. Hope you were able to get some sleep after everything that happened last night. They're still there! They're still in the background. I was up most of the night, totally wired on adrenaline. Even if I'd been able to chill out a bit, knowing that thing was right down the street. Yeah, not super conducive to a good night's sleep. I think it's still there. I hope it might go away on its own. Let's see. I need to... I'm not gonna read these out loud. Jeez. Okay, there's the library. Yeah, does the library look different? That's actually a good question. Does the library look different? Like, can you see the haunting from outside? It's boarded up, but I can't say I've gotten close enough to see much of anything yet. We could always check it out together. Though maybe we'd better not tempt it. That ghost seemed pretty desperate to eat your soul last night. And I don't even know if I mean that metaphorically or literally. Hopefully some slapdash plywood is all it takes to contain that thing. I don't like the thought of it spilling out onto Main Street if it smells a drop of scarlet blood nearby. I'm glad Tabitha was with me. If I was by myself, I probably wouldn't have had the guts to walk out of there. Oh yeah? I'm glad that you and your cousin got the chance to bond last night. It's good to see her care about something other than the mine. Alright, so we've got a flirt option. I think that's the first time I've seen one. No, I think I saw it with Stella. Have you heard anything from Stella? I haven't heard from her, though we don't text much, and I haven't checked with Winnie to see if she came in for an early breakfast or anything. But if you haven't heard from her, that doesn't sound great. Oh, that was a nice pop. Seeing her like that last night was awful. She's usually so unflappable. Kanika and I are meeting up to look for Stella. Want to come? Absolutely. I told Winnie I'd be coming in late today, so I've got time. I don't know how much time, though. From what I saw this morning, the diner is hopping. It's absolutely packed with miners. They must be using it as a home base for the strike. Oh, by the way, there's a strike going on. I'm sure you already know that, though. Have to imagine Tabitha would have told you this morning. There's ditchlings everywhere now, even though it's daytime. It returns to survey the tree line. I noticed a few on my way up. They're kind of funny, now that I'm getting a good look at them, with their scrunched up little Sharpay faces. So should I be worried about these things? I know they're a bad omen or something, but, like, are they dangerous? They're not going to eat me if I take a wrong turn, right? No, but you might get some eggs laid in your skin. I'm not gonna say that. I'd rather not find out. Does anyone in town have a flamethrower? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Julius had one lying around. Hopefully we won't have to ask him for it. I'm not that worried. Yet. Yeah, let's head to town. You know, restart back down the path. To town. It isn't long until you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Goldie, you made it. And you picked up an Avery along the way. Hope you're both doing okay, like, emotionally. Yeah, I'm not too bad. That's good. I feel like I got crushed by a steamroller or something. Joints all out of whack. Totally exhausted and super foggy. Mom has been insisting I caught a cold, and I wasn't buying it. But as of this morning, I've come around. It's definitely something beyond exhaustion, even considering the ridiculous, stressful week we've all had. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from looking for Stella. Do you still think there could be rational... I was kind of surprised you reached out to me. I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Oh, we are! We are supposed to see your mom. I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today that she couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's going to read your fortune. After last night, I wouldn't doubt that she actually could. Your mom's always had a bit of that Glinda vibe going for her. Yeah, maybe I should stop making fun of her whole new age mystic thing. A lot's happened in the past couple of days. Ugh, I need to take a page out of Stella's book and just block this shit out. I need to be focused. I can't keep having all these existential crises. There will be plenty of time for tea after we found Stella. Wow, that's a long one. Running. Let's not dawdle. I'm worried about Stella. Okay. I think last night just pushed her over the edge. I know I've only known her for a couple of days, but it feels like she has a tendency to run from difficult emotions. Usually she just changes the subject, but I guess this time she wound up literally running. You're absolutely right, and as her friends, we can't let her be alone at a time like this. I've made that mistake before. Plus, she could get mobbed by those little weird creatures, or worse. Exactly. This is no time for anyone to be off on their own. Who knows what kind of weird stuff is out there. After the past couple of nights, I wouldn't be surprised if there were actual Bigfoots in the woods, just waiting to eat any human who wanders too far from civilization. Do Bigfoots thirst for human flesh? Is that some kind of common knowledge I wasn't keyed in on? I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. I don't want to waste another minute. Where to first? Probably Stella's house. That would be the first place to go. Okay, let's go to Stella's house. Good place to start. Maybe she just slept in. That's what I'm hoping. I would have gone already, but I was kind of nervous about doing anything by myself today, just in case I ran into yet another horror from beyond the veil, or whatever. You make your way towards Stella's house. The door is as pristine as any old wooden door. No bloody handprints in sight. Any telltale sign of Wayne absent. If something happened here, it didn't involve him, at least not at the front door. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. Classic horror stuff. The house is quiet, the world outside muffled as you take a cautious step over the threshold into the muted air of the living room. No excitable pug rushes to greet you at the door. And you have a feeling that no Stella is going to emerge from the shadows to sleepily greet you. Your protective instincts set in, and the muscles in your arms tighten, your shoulders straightening. If danger lurks ahead, you're ready for it. No, I'm not going to jump to her being dead. I'm not afraid of it. Is it normal for people to leave their doors open? Let's just go in. Fuck it. Just get in there. You step past the threshold and into Stella's house. It's a nice looking place. The living room is almost exactly as you saw it the other day. Aside from a corner of the room dedicated to Gretchen, Stella's house almost feels like a museum. Everything's organized with a sort of tidiness you wouldn't expect from someone as rough and tumble as Stella, and only a handful of objects feel like they belong to her. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Doesn't look like there was a struggle or anything, unless it happened in another room. Or maybe someone or something caught her off guard. You didn't have to add that last part. I'm going to forget that you said that, and just be thankful that this doesn't look like a crime scene. Alright, let's investigate the kitchen. Let's just go step by step. Oh, look at the little, kitchen sponge holder. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple of cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. The crust of the bread has gone somewhat stale, about as much as you'd expect after being left out overnight. Whoever left it here left many hours ago. It's a little messy, but it doesn't look like anything violent happened here. It's possible she came home, grabbed some food, and left in a hurry, right? Did she have somewhere she needed to be? She didn't say she had something she had to rush off to. Maybe she just had a panic attack after being possessed, but that was over 12 hours ago. I'd hope she would be home by now, if that was the case. Is Stella the sort of person to stop back home to make a snack in the middle of a mental health crisis? Yes. And it's comforting to think that might be all that happened. A panic attack is much more manageable than rotting ghouls or parasitic doughboys. Let's check out her room. Oh, look at the Mothman. That's cute. You make your way. She got a plush of the pug. Can't think of the pug's name right now. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. No streaks of blood and pus that might belong to a certain phantom miner. He hasn't been here. You do notice, though, that her jacket is nowhere in sight. It isn't in her closet, and it wasn't on the coat rack in the other room. Stella's jacket is gone. The Letterman one. It wasn't on the rack in the other room. It's not in here, and she didn't have it yesterday. Okay, I'm sold. Between this and the kitchen, she must have come home last night. And it seems like she was the one who decided to leave. No struggle or anything. Let's check the computer. You go to check Stella's computer. I'm not sure we should be snooping on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? We already broke into her house, right? For all we know, there could be some sort of clue on there, like a note detailing exactly where she is. We didn't break into her house. The door was left wide open. Okay, but what if she's been gossiping? I'll see if it's password protected before we make a fuss about it. If there isn't a password, it's almost like she wants us to snoop. Should we look through the computer? I honestly didn't even think about how this might not be a good idea. Good call. Happy to help. Yeah, you're probably right. Good call. I love seeing someone's room before they've had a chance to clean it up for company. It's a neat little snapshot, you know? This sure looks like a room. Any thoughts? Speak for yourself. If the roles were reversed and I was missing, and you and Stella were poking around in my room unannounced, I'd be completely mortified. Spoken like someone with a whole lot of secrets. My room is immaculate. A guest could drop by unannounced at 2 a.m., and I wouldn't sweat a thing. Congratulations on having your shit together. Thank you. I come by it honest. I will say that this is what her room's been like pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. It could use a few more houseplants. I'll put together some trimmings after we found her. She still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. Okay, I don't think we're going to find much else here. Let's move on. Okay, so she probably came home last night, but she's not here now, and we don't have any idea where she might have gone. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I hoped she would just be sleeping in. I can't believe she's actually missing. We'll find her. Where to next? I don't want to go to the cops. They should... Let's check out the diner. We should go to the mines. I feel like the church is the last resort. I don't want to go to the cops. Let's check in with Oscar and Rosalina. They're at the Maxwell place, right? Yes, the place your oh-so-generous cousin decided was suitable for habitation. Hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. It's a roof over their heads for the time being, or what's left of a roof. After everything they've been through, I can't believe she'd make them stay in a place like that. You don't get far before the sound of growling and desperate hisses grab your attention. You turn to see a ditchling approach a cornered pixel in an alley. He must have slipped out of the library with everyone else last night. The ditchling, distracted from its hunt by your arrival, cranes its neck to face you, its eyes settling on you with alien indifference. In the distance, you hear the furious patter of many feet approaching you. You won't be alone for long. Oh, God. Hey, quit it! The words feel meek as they leave your mouth, and the ditchling, unaffected, turns back to its cornered prey. Is there a pipe or something lying around? Maybe we can scare it off. There's no time. I'm grabbing Pixel. Before you can react, a small pack of dogs round the corner. Oh! Oh! I wasn't expecting that. Before you can... they pounce on the creature, pulling it from the wall, and then taking turns biting and tearing at it until it's ripped to shreds. That can't be good for the dogs to consume. Their task complete, they saunter towards you. What the... It's Daisy. Daisy! And Scraps, too. The dogs that ran against Mayor Jimmy in the last election. And every other dog in town. All together in some kind of ditchling hunting dog game. Pixel timidly steps towards you. Pixel, you got out of the library. Oh, you poor cat. Come here. Pixel cautiously walks towards your group before clambering into your arms. He has a comfortable heft to him. Oh, look at that little face. I see how it is. Everyone likes Goldie, even the cats. Thanks for keeping him safe, dogs. The pack of dogs scampers off, their work done. What the hell is going on in this town? Dog politics. Pixel in tow, you and your companions continue on to the old Maxwell place. The old Maxwell place, it was clearly once a mid-century modern home, and undoubtedly quite stylish for the time, but it's been abandoned for unknown decades, and moss and vines choke its exterior, barely concealing cracked walls and dust-clouded glass. Before you can approach, the door opens, and Oscar's head pokes out from the entryway. Hello? Oh, sorry if I started y'all. The walls here are worn down enough I could hear you coming from a block away. Jesus. Good morning, Oscar. Just thought we'd stop by to check in. Thank goodness you found Pixel. Rosalina's been beside herself. Oscar's voice is tired. He's had a long night. And it shows, his graying face seemingly having aged in the hours since you last saw him. Please, come on in. Right, we're getting achievements left and right. Pixel! Rosalina rushes forward, taking Pixel gently from your arms. Hey, Rosalina. Hey, Alexis. Look who we found on the way up here. I was so worried, I thought the ghost might have done something to him. Alexis is helping us put her room together. We don't plan on staying here long, but the girls seem to be having fun with it, thank goodness. Even after all they've been through. Yeah, this is kind of cool. There's like this weird intercom thing, and a jacuzzi. Maybe you guys could fix up the place. It doesn't seem that run down. It is a lot cooler than I thought it would be, and I've already met a ghost, so if it turns out to be haunted, that's no big deal. Did you say this place has a jacuzzi? Can I try it? For some of your stuff, what's going to happen to your career now that the library is closed? Sorry again about the library. There's no need to apologize. It's a building. You're a person. You matter more than a pile of stones. I do kind of wish we could go back for our stuff. Thanks for letting me borrow some of your clothes, Alexis. You can borrow as much as you need. I have plenty of shirts, and you can do laundry at our house, too. Of course, there are some family heirlooms I'd rather not lose. Portraits of my parents, my father's mining jacket. I don't like the thought of their last living memories being forgotten in there. And the fact that it stole the library from me, too. That one really stings. What are you going to do? Let's see. It's so cool. It's so cool if my cousins let you stay in this rad place for free. I'm not choosing that. What's going to happen to your career now that the library is closed? That's a good question. I was up all night wondering the same thing. If things stay the way they are right now, it's essentially like the library burned down. The books are inaccessible, the building is unsalvageable. In that scenario, the county would have to put up the money to build a new archive, or we'd have to move someplace where I can work in an existing library. And Scarlet Hollow would lose a valuable public service. Oscar. Oh man, that sucks. Move? Seeing Rosalina would leave? We're not doing that, right, Dad? We're staying here? Is there any way you can just, start over and rebuild the collection? I'm sure folks around town would be willing to pitch in. It would be a lot of work, but that's a possibility. Still, maybe it won't even have to come to that. Have any of you seen Stella? We haven't been able to find her since everyone left the library last night. She hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Nope, we have no clue where she's gone. That's not good. I haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have done a better job warning her. Stella was practically banging down your door to try to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found it. I don't even think she knew how she'd react. And besides, you didn't know how bad it was going to get. You can't blame yourself for everything, man. I know you probably feel like it's your responsibility to make sure everyone around you is okay, but sometimes that's just not going to be possible. You're only one guy. That's what Rosalina's always saying. I suppose I do apologize more than I should. You really do. Now I'm really starting to worry. It sounds like no one in town has seen her. That doesn't mean something bad happened. But it doesn't exactly sound like it's all sunshine and roses for her either. I'm sure she'll be okay, but you should probably get back to looking for her soon. I'm just gonna remain silent. What's your plan from here? Gonna stay and fix the place up? I don't think fixing this place is even possible. It's got a cool vibe, sure, but it's also rotting from the inside out. We don't plan on staying here for long. I've run from my problems long enough. One way or another, I'm going to get the library back. I don't care what it takes. I'm not letting that creature get the last laugh. I've been thinking. As far as I'm aware, there was nothing paranormal going on in Scarlet Hollow before very recently. Now here we are, suddenly surrounded by weird little goblin creatures in the woods, while entire buildings are taken over by supernatural creatures. You think there was an inciting event? You'd think there was an inciting event, right? I do. That's my thought too. It was never like this in the holler before. Something must have happened that kicked off all this magic stuff. Uh-oh. Avery stares at you. I mean, it's obvious, right? Things only started happening once Goldie got here. You're not wrong. Exactly. If there's a catalyst for all of this, why wouldn't it be a lost Scarlet finally coming home to Scarlet Hollow? If I may, Goldie, being into town isn't the only major event that's happened lately. Pearl Ann died over a week ago, and those creatures in the woods were already reproducing by the time she arrived. Not to mention, I started seeing things in our house before Pearl Ann passed, I think. I never thought to make a note of exactly when the spirit made itself known. Whatever the cause of this is, there must be some way to put this genie back in the bottle. I'm going to do my best to find out if there have been any similar events and whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. The town archives are unfortunately in the library. I told you putting everything online was important. No one uses paper anymore, Dad. You were right. It'll be my first project if we get the library back. I've learned my lesson. Until then, I'll just have to make do with what I can find online. We'll fill you in on what little we know, so you at least have some place to start. We've been finding these weird stone seals. There was one in the mines and another in your basement. There might be more. These are those carvings you mentioned last night, right? To think there was something like that under my house all this time. And to think someone must have put it there. But who? This gives me quite a few threads to follow. Thank you, Goldie. Goldie, didn't you say you felt something similar to the mine seal outside the clinic yesterday? I hope that doesn't mean something weird is about to happen there, too. Uh-oh. Losing the library is already a blow, but losing the only doctor's office in town seems like it would be bad. Here's hoping we sort things out before that becomes an issue. I wonder if this could be the work of some sort of cult. I think there's something in the clinic. There was this door yesterday, and I could feel something pulling me towards it. Right, I'd almost forgotten. After everything that happened yesterday, you said there was something there that reminded you of the mines, right? I see. I'll dig up what I can on the clinic. There's a lot of history there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something haunting that place as well. You have a friend that lives there, right? Should we tell him that something bad might happen to his house? He might want to stay someplace else for now, if the last few nights are any indication. Yeah, I can shoot Risa a warning text, but I don't know if his mom will let him leave. She's got an iron grip on the poor dude, and she's probably even more of a skeptic than I am. Or was. Yeah, I want to get Reese out of there. We need to get Reese out of there before something bad happens to him. That sounds terrifying, but maybe necessary. No, I veto this. We don't want a repeat of last night. We should be more cautious about what we do next. We don't want anyone to get attacked or possessed by any more ghosts, even if it is to help a friend. Hopefully a warning text is all he needs to get himself out of there. I'd like to think that, at the very least, we've let him know to be careful. I don't know if we've had time to play it safe. Just give me a day or two to do some research before you go do anything rash, okay? I wonder if this could be the work of some sort of cult. I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there. Let's not get all satanic panic just yet. I know it's not looking unlikely at this point, but having lived in this town all my life, I feel like I would know if there was some cult that ran the place. I've got to agree with Kanika on this. I feel like I'd have picked up on something. A cult doesn't necessarily have to run the town to have an impact here. It doesn't even need to be active. From what I gather, those carvings you've been talking about are old, and whoever left them here is probably long gone. Cult! I'll see what I can find. You never know. Alright, make sure Pixel stays inside, or he might get grabbed by ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? Those faces? Yeah, the anguished doughboys. That's a new username. Anguished doughboy. I kind of like them. It's like a hidden object game out there today with all the weird little faces peering out of the bushes. Like them? Are we talking about the same creatures that have been laying eggs in the local wildlife? I don't want to get friendly with them or anything. I just think they're kind of interesting. To each their own. Not Pixel. He's the best cat I've ever met. He's like a little dude. How do we know he didn't get infected already? He was out all night. Is he gonna be okay? I think some dogs kept him safe. Like a gang of dogs. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we saw it with our own eyes. A gang of dogs? I suppose stranger things have happened. This very week, in fact, but we'll make sure he stays safe. Right, Rosalina? I'm not letting him out of my sight ever again. Whatever we're doing next, I feel like we're missing a vital team member. We need to find Stella, and fast. I agree. We need her brazen energy if we're going to do any serious sleuthing. See you around, Oscar. Let us know what you find. I will. We're going to get the library back, and we're going to figure out how to fix whatever's wrong with this town. And on that note, I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back. Sorry about the squeaky chair. So that's Oscar. Any other ideas? Let's check out the diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. Here's hoping Winnie doesn't try to rope me into clocking in early. The diner is busier than you've ever seen it. The small booths packed with miners. What's going on? There's a strike up at the mines. They've made the diner their base of operations. Huh, good for them. It's about time something like this happened. When you asked for the morning off, I didn't think you'd be showing up with friends. Sorry, Aunt Winnie. Stella's gone missing and I've been helping these two track her down. You haven't seen her, have you? Don't you apologize. And I can't say I have. I've been a little preoccupied. This is great for business. These fellas can have as much free coffee as they can drink if they keep piling in like this. Do you need any help? No, Sal and I can handle this. One of your friends is going missing is more important than a busy shift. The miners didn't even notice you enter the diner, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. I guess the shift schedules are pretty brutal, and I like more vacation days. I'd love to be able to see my family around the holidays, and better health benefits would be amazing. What if she decides to fire all of us? You're only a year or so onto the work, and trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. At first you're just unhappy, but you figure you can weather it till you find something better. Paycheck's a paycheck. Next thing you know, we've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers, and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. But we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. I can't get fired. And the company housing, that makes a big difference for me. Right, the company housing. How generous of Tabitha to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had maintenance done in decades, taking a big chunk right out of your paycheck that sure as shit ain't going towards property tax and upkeep alone. Company housing that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. We have numbers on our side, Harrison. After what happened up there the other night, damn near everyone is joining the picket line. She can't afford to lose us all. We have power here, so long as we're united. Weigh in on Harrison's situation. Hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. Ugh. The YouTuber? No, we ain't seen her. As you can see, we've got a lot going on today. We'd appreciate it if you didn't butt in. Harrison's voice drops to a barely audible mumble. I hope she's okay. Let's weigh in on Harrison's situation. Join the strike, Harrison. Unite with your fellow workers. Join the strike, Harrison. Unite with your fellow workers. Hey, this is a private conversation. But you're right. Even if you are the boss's cousin, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. This strike is only gonna work if all of us stand together, Harrison. What do you say? I'll have to call my family to see what they say. My sister's tuition is riding on this job. But I'm pretty convinced at this point. If you really think it'll work, I'm down. Zach claps her on the shoulder. Good to hear it, kid. I guess we should get going. You turn to leave the diner, Avery and Kanika trailing close behind you. Still no sign of Stella. Let's check out the church. The church? Why? I see what you're thinking. Stella was confronted with evidence of the afterlife, so she might try getting into all the religious stuff. It's worth checking out. I think we'd be barking up the wrong tree, but I guess you're right. There's no point in not being thorough. I wouldn't mind stocking up on some holy water while we're there, too. Seems like a good idea to cover all our bases at this point. I don't think Baptists do the holy water thing, but I'm sure Pastor Daniel would pretend to bless some water if it meant keeping us around a little longer. That's good enough for me. Let's not linger, though. I don't want him thinking we're possible converts. That's for damn sure. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope towards the church. You know, I've lived here for a few years now, and I've never actually been to the church. That's probably for a good reason. Where is that weirdo? Speak of the devil. My. 4 visitors at once? On a Thursday? This is unprecedented. But there are only 3 of us. Stella! Oh no. Were we followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? Sup, old people? Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Give it time, Zane. It sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart, but when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hoped maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's just over by the alpacas. Though, Goldie, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. Why does it have to be in private? It's a personal matter. I'd rather folks not pry on this. I won't bite or anything, I promise, and we can talk here right in the open. I guess we'll leave you to it while we check in with Janie. See you in a minute. Oh god. Your friends head off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I'm so glad you decided to come and visit me. So many young people these days seem to think they can solve all their problems on their own. Meanwhile, God is right there ready to help them, if only they'd let him into their hearts. The pastor's eyes dart back towards the alpacas. Oh, man. Okay, good, they're gone. You're new in town. What kind of impression did I make on you? Am I creepy? I think your problem is that you keep telling people what to do instead of actually treating them like human beings. You're extremely creepy. Personally, I like the cut of your jib. You haven't really done anything wrong, but you have no chill. I think this is part of the problem. If you have to pull strangers aside to ask them if you're creepy, you probably come off as creepy. I think your problem is you keep telling people what to do instead of actually treating them like human beings. Like, have you tried inviting folks fishing or hiking? Have you tried throwing a party? Or do you just hand people pamphlets and tell them to think about the big man upstairs? That would require people to want to do things like go fishing with me. I have to put in the effort, you know? Janie is excellent at making friends, but they've all made it clear they're her friends. They try to avoid me whenever possible. I'm sure they've even suggested she divorce me. I don't know why it's so hard. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh no, I sound so bitter. I'm sorry. It's just that it's never been like this for me before. I had plenty of friends all through school. It's like Scarlet Hollow itself just wants me gone. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Why does that look like a young Stella? Tulip, come out of there! You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good? Or are we going to skip story time tonight? I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go in the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry, I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump, not too far past the trees. But it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and looks like it's part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Tulip made some imaginary friends and keeps telling us that they want her to go out there. Like the word of some fictional creatures she made up is going to convince us it's a good idea for her to play in somebody's old garbage. But she's 7. Of course she would get some funny little idea like that. I'd love to get the community to rally around a big cleanup. It's about time somebody got rid of all that junk. Oh, Tetanus Lake. Stella told me about it. A weekend of hard work cleared out. Tetanus Lake. That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that. Or if it would only make it sound more alluring. You know what? I'm not going to tell somebody what to do with their kids, so... You say nothing. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we'd better get going. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Goldie. We got to feed the alpacas. They were so cute and soft. It was awesome. And Janie says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners, and a few extra for me, of course. She's so nice, she even offered to bring me some since I'm feeling under the weather. Hope your talk with the pastor went well. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. I'll let y'all be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kanika and Avery start back down the path to town, and you follow. So, what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent on talking to you alone. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? Everyone in this town is so mean to him. He's a nice guy. Tulips apparently made some weird imaginary friends. We might want to check it out later this week. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? We should go to the mines. We're gonna go everywhere. The cops last, though. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin. I can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. You don't see it? Oh, come on. The two of them have such a dynamic, you know? Classic dog and cat situation. Come on, I'll drive us. Ugh, the car cranking up scared me. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourself outside the Scarlet mines. A wall of bodies, picket signs, and megaphones in hand forms a human barricade around the entrance to the Scarlet mines. I hope it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Don't worry, I know these guys. Most of them are in the diner at least a couple days a week. They'll be chill. Will they be chill talking to Tabitha's cousin, though? Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. You might have had us fooled the other day, but word gets around fast. Zach seems to think you're alright, though. What? How goes the strike? Why are the cops here? Why are the cops here? Miss Scarlet requested we supervise the situation. The mine's the source of a lot of jobs in town, and she wanted to make sure nobody did anything hasty while expressing their concerns. That's a polite way of saying that they're here to intimidate us. A little reminder from the boss that she owns more than just the coal mines. Simmer down. Nobody's here to intimidate anyone, but the Scarlet mines are private property. Miss Scarlet has every right to request some oversight during a tense situation. There's a lot more of us than there are of you. True. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber? She's the one on all the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her, and we've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by. We'll make sure to keep an eye out. Can't say we'll be much help, though. We'll just be standing around here for the foreseeable future. Okay, they haven't seen Stella. Let's just go. If that means we don't have to talk to Tabitha, that's fine by me. I think Tabitha would probably call us if she had seen Stella, so I'm okay with skipping talking to her. Plus, I don't want to cross the picket line to talk to her. I guess that's it for the mines. Come on. I'll drive us back to town, and we can figure out our next move from there. Well, the cops were there, so... we should go to the cops, right? Are you sure? Nothing against the officers of Scarlet Hollow, but you've met them, right? Do you think it's worth the trouble? As unhelpful as they are, we are dealing with a missing person. That's cop stuff. It's probably going to be more of a formality than anything, but there's no point in not covering all our bases. But we just saw that they were at the mine, right? I guess not all of them. The police station... Excuse me. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper. And the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. But you're also not alone here. You enter to find Beau and Duke standing between you and the officer behind the desk. Now listen here, officer. Big Betty was set to win a blue ribbon. I'm telling you, she was valuable property, not just some vegetable. We worked real hard to get her that big. Raised her from a seed. It's just not fair. I couldn't read that for some reason. It's just not fair, officer, sir. The heck? The Scarlet Hollow police are spread pretty thin at the moment, gentlemen. Any property disputes will have to wait. If indeed there is a dispute to be had, are you sure it wasn't some animal? I'm telling you, I know who stole her. That no-good bastard Julius Tremaine has been stealing what rightfully belongs to the Callaways for all of his life. And you folks ain't done a lick of policing to put an end to it. I told you we were better off handling this ourselves, Daddy. Franklin seems to turn to you as you enter, though his impenetrable shades make it impossible to judge where he's really looking. Hey, I remember you from yesterday. You're the mayor's security guy. I don't really care about the pumpkin, to be honest. Stella ran off last night and she's still missing. A missing person? Apologies, Mr. Calloway, but I'm going to have to handle this first. Deputy Franklin makes his way back to his desk, pulling out a few forms before returning to the front. If one of you could fill these out, please. I can take care of that. Thank you so much for taking this seriously, Mike. I know Stella has a tendency to go on hiking trips, but this feels different. Now hold on. You're gonna help them right away, but you're gonna give me the runaround? That ain't fair. Mr. Calloway, this may be a matter of life and death. I'm afraid it takes precedence over a minor property dispute about a vegetable. You and I both know Stella's always tromping around in them woods. It ain't something anybody needs to fuss over. Are you sure you can't start looking, like, right now? She shouldn't be off her own. And there's gonna be more you can do than just give us paperwork. Why did we even come here? This was pointless. Thanks for taking this seriously. I take everything seriously. Duke scoffs. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? Great question, but are you part of a cult? Can you arrest a ghost? Alright, I'll ask about the pumpkin, that's it. What's all this about a pumpkin? Julius stole our Big Betty, so he came here to report it. For all the good that did us, Officer Franklin here won't so much as write down a note that there was theft for when the real cops get back. Fine, if you want me to take notes, I'll take notes. There's no way to prove who the vegetable in question belonged to. If there's no documentation, it's your word against his. I'm starting to think y'all are in cahoots with the bastard. What makes you think Julius stole it? You're poking a wasp's nest, Goldie. There's 100 years of history here. He's been claiming Big Betty was his since day one, on account of he thinks it was planted on his side of the property. He's got himself confused about where the property line is, as always. We get our fair share of calls from Mr. Tremaine as well. Not that I'm at liberty to discuss confidential police information. I'd be perfectly willing to bury the hatchet if he weren't such a lying, pumpkin-stealing rat. You know Julius is a friend of mine. He's a lot of things, and he's definitely a bit of a curmudgeon, but I'd never pegged him as a thief. I didn't know Julius ever talked to anybody. Talk is a strong word, but I like to think we have some kind of understanding. Why is this pumpkin so valuable? She was darn near 2,000 pounds. She was gonna get us a blue ribbon. And now we've already missed our chance. The judging was supposed to start today, and here we are, still stuck in the holler, and short our prize winner, with Julius Tremaine to blame. He practically spits the name, and then he literally spits on the floor. He ain't even coming to his door to answer for what he done. Just hold up like the coward he is. At the very least, he could give us seeds from what's left of her, so we can try again next year. She was good stock, our Betty. He's not even coming to the door? That's interesting. Because I haven't seen Julius since Tuesday. He's usually in the diner every day. Not necessarily a big deal for a lot of people, but he never misses his morning Joe. So maybe he isn't a thief. Could be something happened to him. Mark my words, the man's a thief. You got any other ideas about who would have stolen our prize pumpkin? Beats me. I just don't think folks should be quick to jump to conclusions. Alright, this is, I've had enough of this. I'm just gonna remain silent. You have nothing left to say. You know, even if Julius didn't take Big Betty, it might be worth doing a welfare check. Look, kid, I'd love to help, but the sheriff has a standing order to not step foot on the Tremaine homestead. The man loves his booby traps. Is that so? So you've just been giving me and my boy the runaround all morning? Deputy Franklin shrugs. Those booby traps have never stopped me. I don't make the rules. You'll have to take it up with Sheriff Hugby. If I may, sir, ain't that a mite bit cowardly of you? I thought police officers were supposed to be brave. That's right, you ain't even doing the bare minimum right now. This isn't about courage, big man, and this isn't about being lazy, Mr. Calloway. This is about public safety, and it's about the sheriff's judgment and authority outweighing my own. Look, I've been to Julius's 100 times. I can tag along and make sure nobody gets hurt. Look, I'll pass along when he gets back, but he has his hands full right now. I can't make any promises. You'd better. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's just get going. Kanika hands the completed report back to Deputy Franklin. Thank you, ma'am. I'll get this filed right away. Good luck out there. I hope Miss Richmond is alright and y'all find her soon. This department is biased, I swear. I'd almost say y'all are in a league with Julius, but that would require at least some amount of competence. The Scarlet Hollow Police Department takes no sides in familial disputes. We are merely in pursuit of upholding the law, and we do a damn fine job of it, Mr. Calloway. Thanks again for taking this serious. Thanks again for taking this seriously, Deputy. Just doing my job. Why won't they just do their jobs is the name of the achievement I just got. Well, at least we filed a report. Still, I guess finding Stella's going to be mostly... mostly be up to us. We gotta find out what's been going on with Julius, too. He's been missing from the diner for a few days. It's weird. He usually comes in every single day. Maybe he's preoccupied with ditchlings. I just hope he's okay. One problem at a time. Yeah, where to next? As you consider your next steps, you remember your appointment with Sybil. She seemed to be confident last night that Stella would be okay. Maybe she'll be able to find you... Maybe she'll be able to help you find her. Aside from your cousin, she's the closest thing this town has to a real authority figure. Nobody ever seems to say anything to undermine her, except for her daughter. And daughters always clash with their mothers. This town trusts her. We should talk to your mom. I'm supposed to have tea with her today. Sure, we can humor her. She's probably going to give you some rocks or a bundle of herbs for protection or something. Which might actually work. Who knows? Guess there's only one way to find out. Let's do it. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly welcomingly as the three of you enter. Kanika, there you are. You're supposed to stay in bed today, remember? Ah, hello, you two. Hope you're both recovered from last night's fiasco. Sorry, Mom, it's just that Stella's missing and Stella can take care of herself. Unlike you. You need bed rest and lots of fluids. You don't need to go running around town spreading that cold of yours. Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Goldie about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to her. I'll just be doing a tea reading. Haven't those always bored you to tears? Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should really lie down. Bye, Goldie. Kanika turns and heads towards the stairs without saying another word. Good thing Kanika has her mom looking out for her. She seems so tired today. And you'll probably be able to find Stella without her. And I'm so sorry to be a bad host, Avery, but I was hoping Goldie and I could do our reading in private. I'm sure Winnie needs help at the diner. Ah, you're right. I've totally left her on her own today. Fine by me. I wouldn't want to mess with your tea vibes. I'm sure those leaves are very particular. Oh, but before I go, I did want to ask. Are you a witch? As flattered as I am that you think I'm that magical, I'm just an old lady who likes tea and has a few unusual hobbies. Look, I'm just saying, doing stuff like reading tea leaves is pretty witchy as far as I'm concerned, but I won't push it. Though, just so you know, if you are a witch, you can totally tell us. We'll be cool about it. I'll leave y'all to your not supernatural private tea leaf reading. We'll catch up tomorrow, Goldie. That wink. They make their way out of the general store, disappearing down the street in the direction of the diner. Shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? Sip your tea. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. Jeez, this is making me want tea. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. The other day you promised to tell me. What was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Berlan was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Pearl Ann and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in the generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart or something, just as forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was so much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it. What with skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. Quit yanking me around. You have something to tell me. Just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it, the small cup empty, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh good, glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty. And the hourglass ties it all together with a definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may, at the very least, be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here. A cat. An enemy. Lurking in plain sight. The cat could be Wayne. He follows me wherever I go. It's almost like he's literally lurking in plain sight. But he's my good friend and I trust him. That may be the case, but the tea leaves tend to lean more into the symbolic side of things. I personally have a hard time believing that Wayne is the cat. You shouldn't trust a word out of that man's mouth, but the cat implies a certain level of two-facedness that I don't think he possesses. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. Ooh. Surely not like Tabitha or Kanika. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connecting to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, these stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek those carvings out, piece together what you can from your visions, and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to the door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. I think I felt another in the clinic. That's good. If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that could give you a leg up on your adversary. You'll have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around her clinic. If I recall correctly, there's a hill that'll take you nearly all the way to the second story, and she never locks any of the doors up there. Just in case that's helpful information. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. All I did was look at some leaves and tell me to go put myself in danger. You helped last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through the spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching. Thanks, I'll let you know if I find anything. Glad to hear it. I hope all goes well, and I wish you luck. Hopefully you won't need it. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table, and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you might put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Should I check in on Kanika? You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. You knock on Kanika's door. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just going to lie down for a while. Can I come in? Oh, hey. Sorry, Goldie, my mom was right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it, or I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. It looks like you're on your own. You make your way out of the general store and down the road to the clinic. You make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. I'm getting scared. This is gonna be a creepy one. And I see the ditchlings. There's a raccoon. There's ditchlings like all over the place. I'm looking for anything creepy around the house. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. I'm getting excited. You can see the hill Sybil was talking about wrapped around the back of the old hospital, like a stone blanket. It should take you directly up to the second floor and the unlocked doors of the terrace. Oh. Let's go up the terrace. You make your way up the hill and survey the terrace. This should be easy. You take a step back and jump. You land and try the door. It's unlocked. Oh, the ominous sounds. The upstairs of the clinic feels like a decommissioned museum. Old furniture is covered in plain white sheets, and a thick layer of dust coats the floor. This place hasn't seen any use in years. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. The lights click on. You're in the morgue! Goldie, what are you doing in the morgue? She killed you? What are you doing in the morgue? What are you doing in the morgue? Am I interrupting something? No, I was just practicing, I guess. Sometimes I just come down here to rehearse. Not gonna lie, this is kind of weird, dude. I see. Being among the dead brings you comfort. Remain silent. You say nothing in response. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. Follow the pull. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand shake your shoulder, and for a moment the thing on the other side of the blank wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of look possessed for a second. There, you good? Make him understand. There's some kind of magic shit going on. I need to get behind the wall. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the doc out of our hair. Should take 2 seconds. Why not just break a wall? Yes, please, axe now. Sounds great. Lead the way. Sweet, be right back. Oh, I don't like these voices. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway. At the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effort as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit. I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. It looks like we're all out, though. Really? I thought I'd just pick some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice and some ginger ale, too. That would be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy. It's no problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked. The theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up. We don't have long until she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. Something on the desk catches your eye. Some sort of records with your family's name on them. I gotta read the files. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the documents. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates. Ooh. Edwardine Scarlet, born April 9th, 1913. Died February 12th, 2003, aged 89. Cause of death? Heart failure. Signed by her granddaughter, Pearl Scarlet. Pretty normal. Almost made it to 90. Died of normal old person illness. Enoch's death certificate. Enoch Scarlet. Born September 9th, 1887. Died August 20th, 1957. Age 69. Cause of death. Fall from cliff. This one has a coroner's report attached. Organs sustained impact injuries. Lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. Whoa, an actual autopsy report. Looks ancient. Cause of death, sleep apnea. Discovered by her daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. No autopsy performed. Tabitha's middle name is Chrysanthemum. Wonder who cursed her with that mouthful. I feel like that was forbidden knowledge. You quickly flip through a few other Scarlets whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlet, born May 24th, 1890. Died 1918. Age 28. Cause of death, crushed in mine collapse. Body not recovered. Signed by his brother Enoch. So Enoch went off a cliff. And his brother died in the mines. Joseph Scarlet. He has no cause of death at all. Both killed at Normandy. Oh, in the line of duty. These must have been Edwardine's brothers. Sorry, I just kind of skimmed that one. Certificate of fetal death. Infant boy. Andrew Charles Scarlet. Delivered April 3rd, 1945. Stillbirth. Mother. Edwardine Scarlet. Cause of death. Complications during birth. No doctor present. Home burial. Alexandra Scarlet. Born... Why are all these... Born December 12th, 1947. Died August 20th, 1957. Age 9. Missing. Presumed dead. Signed by Mother Edwardine Scarlet. Alexandra, the owner of the doll. So she went missing. Mary Bell Scarlet. Born September 3rd, 1946. Died October 30th, 1963. Age 17. Cause of death, complications during childbirth, signed by her mother, Edwardine Scarlet. Wow, that's a lot of kids to outlive. Reese's eyes flick up to the doorway, and a second later you hear the sound of the front door handle being turned. His hand is on your shoulder before you even register what's happening, and you're pushed back and out of view of the front door. Shit, I'm not supposed to be in here. We gotta hide. He hurries to the closet door, motioning you inside. You slip past him and squish yourself into what little space is available. I got too nosy. I had to read. Squish yourself into what little space is available in the nearly full closet. Reese is close on your heels. You let him in. Together you listen as the doctor makes her way to some room deeper into the clinic. In the silence of the tiny closet, every breath seems too loud, as if you could expect Dr. Kelly to hear it from wherever she was across the house. We better wait a second just in case. The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards, broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. The footsteps return, they get louder, approaching the open office door, and then they stop. Much to your relief, she opens another door, leaving the main clinic. We're in the clear. We've probably only got a minute or two until she comes back, so let's make it count. The medical supply room is probably our best bet. If any other room in the clinic is likely to have a fire axe, it's probably the room full of chemicals. This way. He motions you down a hallway, slipping through the slightly ajar door of what you assume to be the supply room. Is there a plant over there? Yes, there it is. Keys. Here we go. He rushes over to the cabinet that contains a bright red axe, pulling the glass door open. Your axe. A splash of brown catches your eye. There's a small sprig of what almost looks like furry berries with a wide, 8-pronged leaf still attached to the base. The end of the sprig is leaking sap onto the countertop. It's fresh. Now we can... Rhys stops mid-sentence as he notices you staring at the plant. He stoops in to pick it up. Does she make her own medicine? He puts it down, but not before breaking off a berry and sliding it into his pocket. I don't think she's allowed to do that. She's not a pharmacist. This room is just for storing stuff she orders for patients from a pharmacist in Brevard. Why would she be making her own? Before you could answer, the two of you hear something in the distance and turn to listen intently. That was the door from the house. Come on, if we hurry, we can get back downstairs. Get you back downstairs. I'll run interference. Go downstairs, quick. You can hear her approaching now, floorboards creaking in the hallway on the other side of the office. I feel like I'm reading faster because I'm, scared. You follow Rhys's instruction, once again, starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right. We did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge, but there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, that's just my music. I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time? Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. You hear the door close, and the sound of Rhys descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent lit room below. Hey. Wall now. Wall now, yes? Wall. Let's do this. May I make the first blow? I should warn you, something spooky might happen when we break down the wall. May I make the first blow? Go for it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. It's like cutting through butter. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit! The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Rhys coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthly mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward. And you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing? Rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall? His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, are you okay? No, no, I'm not. And you don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. There it is. I didn't mean to skip all the hacking. Enoch, I thought you weren't going to come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I going to do? Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research and I've found us an alternative. We won't have to worry about anything from here on out, I promise. I went to talk to the witch. Witch? But that's nonsense. It's alright. It's all sorted. We're taking you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down a wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure. Are you okay? He goes, how did I get here? How did I get here? I carried you. You carried me? Through a hole in the wall, up and down a bunch of stairs? What? It wasn't super far or anything. I just picked you up and carried you. I might be sick a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm made of paper. I can still do things normal people can do. Normal people can't pick me up like a child. You must be really strong. Really? Thanks. I guess I don't have much of a frame reference for what normal people can do. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come in the morgue. I had a vision. Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always just weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller. I think the carvings are trying to warn me about something. My family has dark secrets. I think these visions... rolled into some big gas pocket that keeps giving me seizures. I think these are visions of things that actually happened. Whoa, wonder if you'd see anything if you went back in there. Or if there are more around town. Maybe if you collect them all, you'll finally unravel whatever the big mystery is. Seems fun. I should probably get going. Stella is still missing and the stone here finally stopped yelling at me. It might be a little tricky. The doc is on the warpath up there. I refuse to take my medicine and she's not happy about it. But after I looked this up, there's no way I was going to take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. I went ahead and blocked my door, so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. Why would your mom poison you? I don't know. But the internet says this is castor bean. It's used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. And death, usually. Oh my god. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly, or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that. No matter what, we should get out of this basement soon. We need to get out of here. Who knows what she'll do when she finds out what you know. Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here. One step at a time. Let's just start by waiting out your mom and getting out of here. One step at a time. You shouldn't call her my mom. As far as I'm concerned, she's forfeited that title. I don't even think I should call her doctor. It's just some woman now. Can't wait for her to be in the rearview mirror of the rest of my life. We'll see if we can wait her out. If she doesn't fall asleep by 10, we can figure something else out. These windows are supposedly shatterproof, which she's always said was for burglars. Now I assume it was yet another way to keep me boxed in. But we can try to break them anyway. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. Death blood. Do whatever you do to kill time, preferably something that'll help me ignore my mounting anxiety. I believe you owe me a showing of Shi no Chi death blood. I believe I do. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people will react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time. What with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and of course the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs has been poisoning her son since his teens. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that then wind up tying back into the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person. Or talk to people, ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. I'm glad you'll be able to have a social life, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's not get out of first. We have to get out of this basement. I'm glad you'll be able to have a social life, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Reese smiles to himself. It's still hard to imagine, hard to believe after all these years alone, that that's going to be my reality. The man on the screen yells portents of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot is really heating up. I love that there are all these distant sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. And then it sees you back. Incredible. Cosmic horror in its truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. Let's figure out how to leave. I think I better get going. Reese, are you feeling okay? I'm just jittery. I've had a really weird day, and I think being down here is making me anxious. I'm all hopped up on adrenaline. Maybe waiting out the dock is a bad idea. The longer we wait, the more likely it is she'll figure out that we're onto her, and it would be too easy for her to lock me up again and be thorough about it this time. There's a knock on the window. Goldie, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. That voice, I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the supposedly shatterproof window. Enemies upstairs. Enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. Why did he call you that thing? I don't need you to protect me. I think he might be overreacting. Why did he call you that thing? Because he's some kind of monster and he wants me dead. Can't you feel that? The murderous intent is practically oozing out of him. I don't know how I feel about Reese. But I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower in fear from the people who want to hurt me. What if his mom is dead? What if he killed his mom? I can protect both of us, Goldie. The window shatters. Oh my god. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand, I'll pull you out. Oh god. Leave us alone. In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. I'd want to run. You've seen enough to know you need to leave. You run up the stairs. The door is blocked by a chair. And then it's blocked by something else, too. Oh, tear through them. Tear through them. We're strong. You toss the chair out of the way and tear through the paintings covering the door. They stretch and rip, yellow-red globs of paint, coating your hands in place of viscera. Finally, the wood slippery in your painted grip. You fling the door open. Rush to the front door of freedom. You rush to the front door. But the things from the paintings, his smears, are faster. They flow out from every crack in the wood, flattening themselves against the door frame. Maybe we're actually having, like, or that thing that happened to us in the library is happening here. You pull, but it's sealed shut, as if they'd learned from their first attempt. And then you hear the thunder of massive footsteps coming from the basement stair. You turn to witness Reese. Can't let anyone leave right now. She might find a way out, but it's okay. I'll make it so she won't be able to hurt anyone anymore. Go back downstairs, you'll be safe there. You size Reese up. You're going to need some heavier firepower than your fist to deal with him. I'm not going to let you kill your mother. I'm not going to return to the basement. I'm not going to let you kill your mother. You won't be able to stop me. It has to be done, Goldie. I'm sure you'll understand once the moment has passed. Reese turns and disappears deeper into the clinic. Call Tabitha. You dial your cousin's number. Hey, where are you? I'm at the clinic. I think Dr. Kelly is in danger. There's a monster on the loose. I'm just gonna say that. What? Don't move a muscle. I'm coming to get you. Your cousin hangs up the phone. Try and warn Dr. Kelly. You make your way to the door that beckoned to you yesterday. All intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there's a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. You grasp the handle and turn. Duck! Roll out of the way. You're quick to follow her command, your body falling forward and rolling gracefully out of the harm's way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out from between his ribs, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're going to have to try harder than that, you... No, how did you... As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between cracks in the wood. Reese's panic, pulling in a mob of furious, smears to hold his enemies in place. Oh my god. The artist darts away, but the smears continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hall. Okay. Run to the morgue. Grab the axe. You need to arm yourself. You rush down the morgue, practically flying down the steps. The axe is still lying on the floor where you and Reese left it. You pick it up. A feeling of safety settles in your chest as you grip the wooden handle. At least, if you have to fight, you're prepared. Hey. Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You, Goldie. I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us. What? I'm not helping you. You were poisoning him. You deserve to pay the price. What's going on? I think you can probably put that together. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. Oh my god. Axe in hand, you rush up the stairs from the morgue and into the medical storage room. I'm here. Great. Now listen to me. I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labeled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't gonna cut it anymore. An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good, you should hear this. Goldie, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not gonna hurt anybody else, just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's going to shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers? Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in the basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now. Better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous. She's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me. I don't feel like I should be in the middle of this. I just want to go home. I'm not gonna let you kill someone else. Someone, Reese. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know that those tranquilizers aren't going to kill me? Does she care? Trust me, Reese. I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you. Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance. And you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face. Enough. Reese cries out in pain. Ah, what the hell did you do to my shoulder? You see, for the briefest instant, something coming out of Wayne's sleeve. Oh my god, is this like some Last of Us stuff? Just a flash of pale yellow, then it's gone, slithering back into Wayne's clothes. I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to trust. The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room. I'm gonna grab the tranquilizers. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find. Marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. Oops. Sorry. Let's head for the safe room. Let's just get this over with. You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where the Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the mass of paint sealing it shut. Hurry, I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. Sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? Maybe. If we both survive, I might decide to share a few more. If you don't go tattling to anybody. What's the game plan? Both short and long term. Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after. Has that worked before? He's never known the exact nature of his condition before. Maybe it was a mistake to hide it from him. But I thought it meant he could feel like he had more freedom, not knowing that if he just stopped taking his pills, he'd become big and pointy enough to kill me. I'm going to have to revoke some of those freedoms now. He's not going to like that, but I think he'll understand even if it takes time. I don't think he wants to hurt people. He just can't help what he is. Let's talk, Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, I have nothing left to hide. What is he? At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him. And you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him, or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll just have to remain a mystery. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extra. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder. Had him checked out at a few specialists. There was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed. Right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities. Enough to be noticeable. I was scared. He could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off or maybe a hallucination. The second time, it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise. Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. I wish I knew. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone. I just woke up pregnant one day? I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. But then all of a sudden my period stopped. I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. My God. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high doses of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it, and I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. Who approached you and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look. I don't want to talk about that woman. But screw it, I might die tonight. Sure, I'll tell you. And that's all I have to say about that. Aww. Well, it was a woman. How did he not know what he was? I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before, maybe 4, depending on what counts. This is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand, at first, that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitably. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. What is this room? Old x-ray room. Lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote-controlled locks. Glad it could finally come in handy. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for our son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Oh, what in the world is that? So cool looking, though. Is this what you were so afraid of? Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. Why didn't they load them? Why didn't they... Before Dr. Kelly can fire, a different shot rings out. Reese's body is thrown to the wall, shotgun in hand. Your cousin rounds the corner and trains her weapon on his writhing body. Oh! Tabitha, what are you doing here? Stop it. Let me sedate him. We can deal with this non-lethally. Are you insane? That thing was trying to kill you. I'm gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let them hash it out. You say nothing, leaving the decision to the woman with the gun. You too. Help me drag this thing outside. We're burning it. Oh. I mean, what kind of life would have been to tranquilize it? I don't know. The three of you stand around Reese's mangled, still twitching body. You can see the ways he's trying to stitch himself back together. The tendrils of flesh meeting and joining, the clicks and pops of bones snapping back together, and the horrific wet sounds of meat resealing along ruined edges. Your cousin pours gasoline over his body. Then she lights a match. Oh my god! He screams as he erupts into flames. It's inhuman, the ruin of his face incapable of making any recognizable sounds beyond a guttural wail. It seems to last forever, and then it stops. In its absence, there is only the roaring of flames and the sobbing of his mother, staring down at the writhing, burning body of what was once her son. I always knew there was something off about that kid. He had a weird smell. You would kill him. Did you know what he was? No, but the door was sealed shut, and I got a bad vibe from your call, so I took the gun from my office. I was already armed when I rounded the corner and saw him. Just did what had to be done. Thanks for calling instead of trying to handle this on your own. We make a good team. Tears start to stream down your cheeks as the finality of it all hits you. You all did what you had to do, but that doesn't make this hurt any less. Your cousin, noticing your tears, puts her arm around you and rests her head on your shoulder. And then she steps away. His suffering is over now, Dr. Kelly. This is a good thing. Don't you dare say that to me while my son is burning in front of me. I don't care what he was. He's gone now. And you trying to comfort me is just fingering that fresh wound. Don't bother. He wasn't even human. You shouldn't be so broken up about some wild animal that had every intention of killing you. He was human. I did tests. Genetically, he was so different from us. And he was an incredible artist. And he was thoughtful and kind. And most importantly, he was my son. Dr. Kelly falls silent, the flames dancing across her tear-streaked face. I'm sorry, Joan. An acrid smell hangs in the air, the stink of burning flesh stinging your nostrils. But he's gone. There's only a charred pile of ashen bones where his writhing body once lay. Nothing moves. Nothing tries to mend itself. There's nothing left to be mended. I'm going to bed. Not a word of this to anyone, or there'll be hell to pay. You don't have to tell me twice. Dr. Kelly starts back down the hill towards the clinic, leaving the two of you next to the smoldering ashes. I'm parked down the hill. Let's get out of here. I need a shower. My hair smells like burning corpse. The two of you make your way to the bottom of the hill where Tabitha's car is parked, among the sleepy houses of Scarlet Hollow's residential street. She places her gun in the trunk and turns to face you. You're alone right now. Is Stella still missing? I tried calling her a couple of times, but I kept getting her stupid voicemail. Yeah. The two of you are interrupted by the jingling of dog tags. Gretchen! Gretchen appears at the edge of the road, running as fast as her geriatric pug legs can carry her. Gretchen seems distressed. She whines as she stares up at you from the ground, eyes desperate, anxiously jumping back and forth and darting away when you try to lean down to her. Gretchen! But where's Stella? Looks like we're about to find out. You and Tabitha follow Gretchen into the woods. God, I hope she's not leading us to a body. Gretchen nervously runs ahead of you and Tabitha, looking back to make sure you're still there as she leads you into the dark woods. Before long, the trees thin, and you find yourself on a steep hill by a two-laned road, lined on one side by sheer rock. There, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. You watch her from the underbrush. She's alive, thank God. She sounds more exasperated than relieved. You should go talk to her, Tabitha. She'd probably be glad to see you. I don't know. We've got baggage. I'll just make things worse. No, you're right. She's been practically begging for us to be closer than we are. It's time I stop letting my dead mother dictate who I'm allowed to talk to. But I'm not talking to her alone. We're doing this together. The two of you join Stella, perching on the old log on either side of her. Y'all came to find me? You didn't have to go to all that trouble. I was probably going to head home soon. You had Goldie worried all day, you know. And it looks like you got into some trouble, too. Goldie, you're all covered in blood. This is where your parents died, right? Mm. Oh. Poor Stella. Oh my God. That was grim. Have you been sitting here all day? Yeah. Just waiting. Silence falls over the three of you, the wind rustling in the leaves and the sound of night insects carry on around you, muted in the still night. Nothing happened, though. That's probably for the best. Tabby, did I do something wrong after the accident? What? There's whole years of my life that feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. Did I do something to push you away? No. All you wanted to do was talk to me, but Pearl Ann wouldn't let you near me. Oh. Tabitha sighs. That's not true. I was an adult when the accident happened. It doesn't matter what Pearl Ann wanted. I need to stop hiding under my mother's coat every time I make a bad decision. I pushed you away, Stella, and I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Tabby, I've missed you. I've missed you too. Still, fuck Pearl Ann. I'm gonna remain silent. I'm not gonna get involved in this. You remain silent. The three of you stare out into the quiet night. I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know whether I even could. I never found anything, so I eventually gave up. Then last night happened, and I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Do you want to say goodbye? Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breath slow and even. Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. No response comes. But she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes. That kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I'd kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it, you two. Stella straightens up, stretching her back. Gretchen wags her tail, tags jingling in the quiet night air. We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. Wait, before we go, we should tell you what happened. She doesn't need to hear about this tonight. You keep the events that transpired at the clinic to yourself. At least for now. Yeah, we're not going to ruin all of that just happened. The three of you and Gretchen make your way back through the woods before arriving at Stella's house. This is me. Thanks again, you two. It's time for us to get back to the estate, Goldie. Tabby, wait. Before you go. Aww. Stella wraps your cousin in a tight hug. Don't be a stranger, okay? Never again. I promise. Oh, wow. You and Tabitha quietly return to the estate, both of you impossibly exhausted by the day's events. I've got to crash. I'll see you tomorrow. She heads to bed without another word. Yeah, I think we'd all be tired after that. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse on the bed. As your eyes sink, you realize that something smells off about the room. It smells rotten. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You jolt awake as the door creaks. Don't look so frightened. I was just going to say goodnight. And to give you a word of advice. Tabitha won't be around tomorrow. Too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you. And you might be surprised what you find. Oh! Until then, sleep well. I'll let him leave. Wait. Wait. Wayne pauses at the door. Yes? Why are you following me around? Why not Stella? Or Kanika? Or Sybil? Why not Tabitha? Because you're special. But why? Why am I so special? You simply are. Do you not feel the ties that bind us? They're unbreakable. Seems like Race gave you a run for your money. I thought you might have done something bad to Stella. Flirt with Wayne? That's an option? Did you know Reese was like that? I knew he was different. How exactly I wasn't sure, but now I know. Why am I not so scared of Wayne anymore, though? I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you going to lecture me? You're free to make your own decisions, and those decisions have been made. I know that something pulls at you. I know that now you cannot stop until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must. Thanks for looking out for me tonight. Anytime you find yourself in danger, I'll be there for you. I will always be there for you. Good night, Goldie. Wayne leaves your room and closes the door behind him. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese and the way his mangled but still living body writhed in his funeral pyre. And then you think of nothing. This is the end of episode 4. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the rest of Scarlet Hollow's development. Congratulations for finishing all the episodes currently available in the game. You've unlocked hardcore mode? Hardcore mode allows you to select 3 traits at the character creation, but you'll no longer be able to use your traits to avoid the consequences of major decisions. This penalty only applies to hardcore runs. Have fun if you dare! If you'd like to continue with this world state in episode 5, please save your game now. We'll save it right there. Wow. Oh, well. That was Scarlet Hollow. That was Scarlet Hollow. Oops. Well, that's gonna do it. That was a really good episode. Really enjoyed it. Very scary. I actually jumped a few times because of the incredible sound design. And yeah, I mean, I love this game so much, and I can't wait for all the episodes. I believe, I want to say there's like 7 or 8 that are going to be in total. This was the 4th one, so we might have 4 more to look forward to. But wow. Wow, that was really, really intense. But yeah, I mean, until then, play it for yourself. It's a great game. It's a choices kind of matter type of game where, you know, the choices that you make will affect the gameplay. So you can play it multiple times. And this is my stream. I think this is my stream playthrough. And then I've got a separate one that I'm going to play through and use like what I've got on there. So yeah, so go check it out. It's a great game. I totally recommend. It's great.